Mic check. Okay. Today, I just noticed na may mga bagong nagko-comment sa channel, mga theists mostly, mga Christians. And ang comments nila are the typical na magpipaste ng mga Bible verses, no? And then hoping for me to change my mind after reading those verses. And meron ding iba na kinote pa si Friedrich Nietzsche. Sinabi niya na if God is dead, then allowable daw ang murder. So, to these people, I just want to let you know na yes, I am an atheist. Pero hindi ako nakokumbinsi sa mga ganoong klaseng arguments. I've gone through that process before. I've met people who shared to me Bible verses and they didn't work. And let me explain why that kind of approach will not work, no? Kasi the core naman talaga na reason why we don't believe is walang any kind of strong evidence that would warrant a belief from us. Kasi dati naman talaga naniwala kami sa Bible. But then we later learned new tools, learned new skills, and learned old and outdated na beliefs, learned new disciplines, learned new methods, in-apply namin yun sa lahat ng bagay. And pinakalas na in-applyan namin yun, pinakalas na part ng pagkatao namin wherein in-apply namin yung mga new learnings namin is ang belief namin sa God. And ako lang yun as an atheist pala, ako lang yun. So last ang God belief na tinest ko. And it didn't pass the tests that na mga ginawa ko. So for example, requiring evidence, does this have solid evidence, verifiable ba? And then about in terms of history, gaano ba ka-reliable ang historical na Jesus? Gaano ba ka-reliable ang Bible? Was it revised? Were there errors? Were there inconsistencies? Are there any logical flaw in it? So those questions I've already done many years ago, and I even nakalimutan ko na nga kasi ilang years na. I'm 34 years old, and during those time na very active pa ako sa scripture and all, you would see me arguing with theists about how wrong your Bible is, about how it lacks the historical credibility and all. I'm very vocal about it, but now you're just wasting your time if you paste things like this, kasi yun nga, you are taking me back to who I was many years ago, which I don't want to revisit na. Matanda na ako. Let's not debate na lang. Siguro kayo na mga sis na pumupunta dito, just keep in mind na etong channel na to hindi binuo to fight you or to expose you or to read the Bible and say something na wrong about the Bible or to make it hard for you as a Christian, 'di ba? Hindi ito intention ng channel ko. The intention of this channel is to teach the theists how ano pala talaga ang atheism. Why are we atheists? What are the reasons why we are atheists? And yun lang. Yun lang talaga. There's no preaching in here na, hey, I want to convert atheists. And to be honest, I don't want to convert you to become atheists. The main reason is we are living in the Philippines, and I think we are not ready yet for atheism. I think our citizens need guidance. And churches can offer that. Religions can offer that. Whatever religion you belong, Islam, Christianity, and all those denominations ng Christianity, you have different kinds of way of life. And I think it's needed in the Philippines kasi marami talagang bobo sa Pilipinas. And I think you need that. People need that. People like me na I think bobo din. Pero I think kaya ko na naman na mag-isa. Kaya ko naman mag-isip ng mga bagay na critically on my own. Hindi lang naman ito solo na flight eh. I'm also researching. I'm also looking up to people that I think that make sense. Atheist personalities, scientists. And I'm getting information from them and I'm getting guidance from them. And I am also criticizing them if they've done something wrong or said something wrong. And yun. So, I think mahihirapan ng common na Pinoy na gawin ng ginawa ko. Na alamin kung ano ang masamang bagay, alamin kung ano ang tamang bagay, ano ang hypocritical, and ano ang good and bad and everything. Mahihirapan ang common na Pinoy. So, I would rather convince you to stay in being a religious person or atheist kasi I don't know what to do with you if you're an atheist. If you're young, I don't know what to do with you. There are a lot of young atheists na I don't know. Wala kasing community ng mga atheists na tuturuan itong mga atheists na to ng mga magagandang asal. So, yeah, exactly. So, that's why. Kasi wala namang tinuturo ang Christianity na magnakaw, pumatay. 'Di ba? There are a lot of things na meron akong nakikitang katoksikan na teaching sa Christianity, but I think mas gustuhin ko pang nakapackage yung mga toxic na mga beliefs na yon kaysa hindi ko alam kung ano ang mangyayari sa'yo, di ba? Mas gustuhin ko pa na may community ka, may nagga-guide sa'yo, kasi alam ko naman na hindi ka naman i-guide sa kasamaan. So that's me. That's me. A lot of atheists think differently, but eto yung parang compromise. I would love to have a nation full of atheists kasi I think they think better in terms of making decisions about social issues. Pero this is the Philippines, and I think we don't have any kind of community yet. There are organizations already, Happy, Filipino Freethinkers, Patas, but even those, I can't, I'm not even a member of. Kaya ang hirap kasi wala tayong community of people na will guide us. So ano pa? So yun, so don't worry, no? Don't come here and try to convince me kasi I'm done. I am already done with that stage. I am already convinced that you're wrong. Whatever you will say, kahit na ano pa yan, na mali yung interpretation ko sa Bible, mali yung ganito, ganyan, ang mababago mo lang is yung parang literary understanding ko sa Bible. Kasi I treat it like it's a book eh. For example, let's just imagine Harry Potter books, no? So I am a fan of the Harry Potter books. I've read all of them, even some of them multiple times. So I'm really familiar with it. I can even tell you about the very minor details about it. We have that kind of exercise with my wife, and I consider myself as an expert. We have quizzes dati. So you can imagine, it's like me. I'm like a book nerd for Harry Potter, and some of the Christians are, like especially the apologetics, they are very familiar with it, and they will even make fun of atheists for being wrong on certain details about the Bible. So, yan. If scripture ang debate natin, I bet marami akong mali. And I bet marami akong matutunan sa'yo about the details in it. But would it convince me that there really is a God? Hindi. Ang mababago lang is yung idea ko of Christianity na, okay, hindi pala sila ganoon ka-sexist, okay pala sila sa LGBT, okay, hindi pala condemn sa hell ang mga atheist, or condemn pala sa hell ang mga atheist, something like that. But it will never be able to convince me that there is a God kasi I will need evidence for a God existing. And so far, wala pa talagang anyone na naka-provide ng ganun. Only arguments. Arguments na I think hindi din sound kasi we can combat it with questions. So Hindi ikaw. You are not the theist that's gonna convince me. You are not the theist that's gonna convince me that there is a God. I have listened to theists in YouTube na you consider as great. I don't see. They are even more absurd. So you are even better compared to them. So, yun. So, siguro, ang pwede natin gawin is a discussion or a conversation. You can ask me questions to clear things up, not to convince me na tama ka. Kasi there's no way for you to do that. You can only do that if you have concrete, verifiable na evidence which you can't provide. So now, why do a person like me require evidence? I am doing that in my everyday life. If I invest in pag may gusto akong negosyo na ipatayo, I would want to ask questions. Like gather data if lalago ba tong negosyo na to, kasi there are a few reasons na lalago siya, but tons of reasons na hindi ka magiging successful. So as much as possible, I require evidence, I require data, because even data and evidence fail. Even science fails, no? So how much more, even hindi siguro science fail, no, but us interpreting the data that we gathered, we fail as it's a tool, hindi naman nagiging failure ang tool. It's how we use the tool. That's why we fail. Kasi even math, we can even create mathematical formulas that's not talking about our reality. It's just a math formula talking about a different universe with different laws. So yun, it's a tool you can use to be wrong, no? Kasi there may be a lot of laws, or mathematical formulas already that are helping us with our daily lives, but along with that one great formula, a lot of mathematicians failed with their own. Like one success, I bet there are hundreds of failures of formulas. So what I'm saying is, even though ganoon na yung buhay ko, ganoon na yung pinili ko na buhay na I would require evidence, nagkakamali pa, hindi pa ito perfecto, na may mga changes pa. How much more if yung fundamental ng belief ko is based on something na hindi ko pwedeng mahugot. Hindi ko siya pwedeng isomon dito si Jesus Christ na, hey, God, did you really say this? Was this really your plan? Na lagyan ng tumor itong bata na to? Is this part of your plan? And hindi siya masusomon, no? Hindi natin siya pwedeng questionin kasi nga mismo sa Bible mo, you can't test God. Yun yung problema ko. I don't want to believe in something na hindi ako magiging confident about the belief. I am in a constant fear. I am in a constant doubt. I am always in a constant anxiety. Kasi hindi kaya ng utak ko ang maniwala lang na walang ebidensya. Hindi talaga kaya ng utak ko. Hindi ako pwedeng maniwala na walang any kind of proof. You can apply that to everyday life. For example, would you ride a plane? I always give that as an example, kasi many theists use that as a proof na we are using faith. Faith kasi is believing without evidence, but that's not believing without evidence. Here's my question. Would you ride a plane na ginawa lang ng kapitbahay mo? Gumawa siya ng airport and binuo niyang eroplano na yan. Would you ride it? Wala siyang lisensya na piloto siya. You didn't hear na kumuha siya ng aeronautics ba? Yeah, kumuha siya ng ganun, and wala siyang license as a pilot. Would you ride that plane? So you are using evidence why you ride the Cebu Pacific airplane or why you ride the Philippine Airlines. Evidence. You see that you are riding the plane in an airport, gives you more confidence na hindi ito peke. You are paying a ticket. You are seeing the crew going in the airplane. Those are evidences. It's not faith. You have a basic understanding how airplanes work. You have a basic understanding what an airplane looks like if hindi siya talaga lilipad, siguro makikita mo na umuusok yung engine. You are using evidence. That's not faith. So, every day we are using faith. You as a Christian, every day we are using critical thinking. We are requiring evidence every day. And that's what you're doing as well. You are a critical thinker. You are using evidence every day. But when it comes to your God, you suspend that requirement. There's like a special treatment when it comes to your God. It can't be tested. You need to be faithful. Don't question. Don't doubt. Have faith. Which hindi ko talaga kaya ang ganyang klaseng mentality. I have to be consistent with this kind of lifestyle, with this kind of worldview. I-apply ko siya sa lahat. I may not be consistent, but yun na yung mindset ko. And pasensya na. So, and wala namang mali, Wala namang mali if you suspend your critical thinking when it comes to your God. If you suddenly just believe when it comes to your God. Or suddenly no longer question when it comes to your God. Or suddenly no longer a critical thinker when it comes to your God. I don't care about that kind of you switching on and off your critical thinking kasi you are living in this world na hindi ka naman gumagawa ng masama. 'Di ba? Hindi naman ako naaapektuhan sa decision making mo of you switching on and off your critical thinking when it comes to your God. Kaya I don't care. Go ahead and believe in that God. Go ahead and be a critical thinker every day with your investments, with your life decisions. Go ahead and not be a critical thinker when it comes to your God. I don't care. Kasi hindi ako apektado. Walang anything na damage na nagagawa ang life mo sa life ko. And at the same time, I am not seeing you harming yourself. I am not seeing you. There are just minute instances wherein nagka-clash tayo. Bigyan kita ng example. I have like a cousin-in-law na yung lola niya is very, very, very religious. Nagkasakit siya. We are suspecting na dengue ang sakit ng bata. And then Lola just wants prayer over. Alam naman natin na nakakamatay ang dengue and needs medical assistance, 'di ba? But because of her faith, it clashed with what I understand in reality. People need medical assistance if they are sick, especially if it's a fatal kind of medical na kondisyon. So, yung mga ganyan na mga bagay lang tayo nagka-clash. Yung mga weird na beliefs mo na matatamaan ako. Matatamaan yung mga loved ones ko. Same as with Joy Spring. Sinabi niya na napupunta sa hell ang mga atheist. I know na yun yung belief ng mga Christians. What I am reacting is just me. I'm just making a point na that kind of mentality is toxic. It is toxic because your God is black and white. Hindi ako na isang mabait na tao na walang ginawang masama sa'yo, na namuhay lang ng normal and walang ninakawan, walang inapakan. Just because I am an atheist, I am buying a ticket for myself to hell. And that's a very unjust kind of system. We don't have any kind of system in this world wherein a leader na nagre-require na yung subordinates niya na magre-require na i-believe siya, na totoo siya, na savior siya. 'Di ba? A lot of our Filipino citizens don't believe in our government or criticizing our government. Ikukulong ba ang mga taong opposition and nagkri-criticize? Aren't the people who are criticizing only want good for us? Nagkri-criticize sila kasi ayaw nila ng mga kabulsitan na mga policies, ayaw nila ng corruption, ayaw nila ng nakawan, ayaw nila ng mali. 'Di ba? Ayaw nila ng mali. So, tama ba na ipupunta sila sa hell or i-imprison yung mga taong opposition? Isn't that democracy? People who are against? Kasi if people are just bowing down to a leader, isn't that North Korea? 'Di ba? So, maganda na may balanse ng opposition. If I am a leader, I would want people to oppose me to the things na mali naman talaga ako. Even though if I think I am right. For example, I think I'm right in deciding to have like a war on drugs kasi sobra na ang addict sa mundo. It's right. Tama naman ako, 'di ba? Na mali talaga ang drug addiction sa society. But the next question is, tama ba yung methods ko? Papatayin ko lahat ng mga addict at pusher. The big question mark is my solution to the problem the right way? Do we have data na would prove na mali yung magiging decision ko? The oppositions will voice out, John, yeah, I agree with you. Drug is a menace to society, but your solution is wrong. Aren't those people contributing as Filipino citizens? Aren't they the person that we need to emulate? Kasi gusto lang nila ang tama. Diba? And they don't care whether the leader is a friend or a foe. They will voice out. That's what I think is just happening with Joy Spring. We reacted not because we are afraid of hell and you are condemning me to hell. No, I don't believe that hell exists. Ang gusto ko lang is i-express na yeah, exactly my point na one of the reasons why I am no longer a Christian because I don't agree with that kind of system. If that God exists, I'm still not gonna worship that God. I mean, I'm still not gonna respect that God kasi why do you have like a kind of system like that? And why can't you just accept atheists and condemn all those evil people? Evil people, atheist man or hindi, Muslim man o hindi. 'Di ba? Kasi condemn din ang Muslims kasi hindi naman sila naniniwala kay Kristo. Condemn din yung mga taong pinanganak way before Christ. 'Di ba? Hindi naman nila kilala, hindi naman nila kasalanan, hindi nila kilala si Kristo. So, yeah, and the problem with that again is the root ang pinag-ugatan talaga ng belief na yan is a claim na merong Diyos and that God gave His word to us in a form of a book and that book is final and it's a guide for us. The problem is we can't summon God to be investigated. Did you say that? Is this really true? Do you really exist? Did you really say that? So, wala. It's always in a form of dreams. It's always in a form of revelation. It's always like supernatural, Kasi, of course, supernatural nga yung God, eh. Isa pa na ayaw ko sa ganyang klase na life is yung tendency mo to lean on the supernatural things. I have been afraid as a kid with the supernatural. May multo, may aswang, may mga ghosts. I grew up believing that those things are real. Tinatakot ko ang sarili ko. I can't sleep multiple nights when I was a kid kasi yun yung belief ko eh. There are demons, may mga tao na may mga invisible things that are after me, that are going to get me. Satan is real and is going to tempt me. So, it's a constant struggle dati to na matakot sa bagay na alam ko na now na don't exist. If you are afraid of ghosts, dare me to stay in any kind of haunted house and I will stay there. Just give me money. Kasi I will stay there. But I will give my time to that. Kasi hindi ako naniniwala sa mga ganyan. Anong tawag dito? And it's a relief, no? When I switch to atheism, one of the biggest relief is yung hindi na matakot na matulog na mag-isa. If I am still atheist now, I bet hindi pa din ako pwedeng matulog na ako lang. I bet na pag nights na ako na lang, wala yung wife ko, I bet I'd go out kasi takot akong matulog na ako lang sa bahay. Kasi a lot of things will pop up in my head. But now, wala na. They're silent. Those voices that try to convince me that there are ghosts are no longer there. And at the end, and the conclusion is it's just all in my head. They're silent now. And that's one of the biggest relief. So, balik tayo sa science. Science kasi, even though may mga method siya na nakaka-arrive sa mga true things, there are a lot of things na mali siya. Actually, Newton's law, for example, is false. No? It's not, for example, sinabi dito sa Quora, in light of general relativity na ginawa ni Einstein, binuo ni Einstein, one can say that Newton's second law is absolutely wrong if you are coming from the perspective of general relativity. However, it is approximately right. And the approximation is good enough for any earthly application such as civil engineering. Ginagamit pa din siya sa civil engineering kasi applicable yung second law ni Newton dito sa mundo. And a lot of its claims are wrong when you go to other places. And ang pinaka-glaring na example is yung Mercury's peculiar orbit. Hindi gumagana ang Newton's law. So, but why are we still using it? It's still usable in certain kind of conditions. That's why we're using it. And now, if you go to pupunta naman tayo sa general relativity, even Einstein is wrong. When you are in the perspective of quantum mechanics, hindi gumagana yung mga predictions ni Einstein if you're talking about quantum mechanics. And that's why people are building a theory of everything now. Kasi pati si Einstein mali. Pati si Einstein kulang yung data niya. I mean, it is very useful. Nakakagawa tayo ng mga computers now and smartphones and GPS and all because of Einstein. But he is still wrong. Diba? And with Einstein's black hole, yung sinabi niya black holes exist, Einstein himself doubted whether black holes exist in our physical world. Sabi niya nga nag-exist sa math niya, pero he doubts na physical yun kasi sobra naman na energy yun na nabebend ang light. So, something like that, no? Na he himself doubted about the existence of black holes. He invented the math formula and he doubted himself. And then, but we learned later, right, that black holes do exist and nakita natin sa mata mismo natin and using our tools that they do exist and na-confirm si Einstein na tama siya. And, ito pa, Ptolemy's model of the universe. In many years, we actually use this model. Like, 600 years tayong naniwala na we are in the center of our solar system and everything moved according to this kind of model, and it made sense to people back then na ganito ang movement ng sun, no? And ganito ang movement ng other planets, parang may own sila nagpaikot-ikot. And nakikita natin ito, na obserbahan natin itong mga ganitong phenomena when we look at the stars. This model can actually predict where the sun is or where those planets are using this model. And we later find out that this is wrong. This is wrong. So, another example of us having the math formula pero mali. We are using a language. Math is a language, right? To like describe the reality, but it is wrong. It was able to describe a reality that's wrong. We are not in the center of the solar system. The sun is, and it has, again, we can create models that are wrong with math. It's not the language of God na sinasabi ng iba. It's just a language. Language can be used wrong. Like the English language can be used wrong, diba? Na it can be used to describe a reality that's different from ours. So it's not magic. We invented this up and we are using this to make sense of our world. And yet, people, other people would rather have strong faith using feelings to believe that there really is. Science nga, nagfi-fail. People nga who uses science and math nagfi-fail. How much more if you are using something else? So that's my advice. As much as possible, use it. Now, does science and math teach me how to be a good person? No. No, they are not the primary guides of life. Hindi po siya moral compass ko as an atheist. Ang ginagamit ko na is iba na. Marami na. Poems, kaya, or literature, philosophy. A lot of things I can use para maging mabuting tao. Kasi meron naman talagang direktang epekto ang if you are a bad person. We have now created a system in place, our laws, na pag gumawa ka ng masama is mapupunta ka talaga sa kulungan. We were able to come up with that kind of system to prevent us in doing things na we are all capable of. We are all capable of mass murder, serial killing, raping, and robbing. But we know we have those kinds of innate na nature in us. We created systems to put us in place para maging mabuting tao tayo. And I don't require an external God to guide me. I just need my personal observation. I just need to follow laws that are existing now. And I just need data to back up why we have those laws. Diba? Bakit may ganitong law? Ano ba ang basihan? Why we have laws like that? We have data to back it up. We can pull data why rape is wrong, why murder is wrong. I don't need an external God to tell me that it's wrong. Diba? Kasi the direct effect is in front of us. You don't need an external God to tell you na if you go cross a street, you need to look left and right. You don't need an external God. You only need to observe. Kasi pag pinikit mo yung mata mo when you cross a street, you will die. You will die. And you will cause havoc in traffic kasi ginugulo mo yung flow ng traffic eh. So, yun. So, I hope na it gives you gives you more perspective kung ano yung tumatakbo sa utak namin as an atheist. I've been through what you've been through. Okay? I've been a very strong believer. I even argued dati na there is a God. But I learned new tools and used those tools to apply it to my belief and hindi siya nagstand. Nabasag siya. I used that same tool to science. Science remained strong. Diba? So, if you don't like this kind of lifestyle, if you don't like the idea of you having to think for yourself what good and bad is and you require a God, man, just continue doing it kasi wala akong problema. What I have problems with is you creating stories about us. Creating stories na galit lang ako, may hiningi sa Diyos and hindi nabigyan, rebelde lang talaga, may hedonistic na kagustuhan, ano pa yung mga sinasabi ng iba about atheists just to attack us personally, ad hominem na mga attacks. So if you need more clarification, my phone is open for conversation. I am willing to talk to you. I even, this channel is not even for atheists, man. I can't share anything here, good arguments para gamitin ng mga atheists para ipamukha sa mga theists na mali sila. No, you don't see any content in this channel na ganoon. It's always in the defensive position. It's always me trying to debunk na, hey, mali yan. Mali ang understanding mo sa evolution by natural selection. Mali ang understanding mo about us. It's always like that. Never me opening the Bible and exposing the idiocracy of Christianity. Even though I have that belief in me. Don't get me wrong, I have beliefs, I have views na may mali talaga sa Christianity, but hindi ko na yan ini-spend ng time kasi you're stable. Philippines is, I think, stable with Christians in it. So I'm good. It's a good balance of criticism and believing. Meron kami na against sa mga specific details of beliefs kasi hindi siya gumagana sa reality natin. And here you are, still continuing to be consistent with your belief na okay ka naman, mabuti ka naman tao, hindi ka naman mamamatay tao, hindi ka naman sumusuporta sa mga mamamatay tao at magnanakaw. Diba? So yun. And yeah, again, if there are specific details that you want to ask me, just drop a message, no? Kasi I'm willing to answer naman, not with people na nagka-copy paste ng mga Bible verses, and not with people na are attempting to convert me into atheist, to convert me into a Christian. I'm not gonna be a Christian anymore. The best thing you can do is to convert me into a deist siguro. Deist. But Christianity and Islam, it's no longer in my book. It's so far away na imposible na mangyari yon. Unless there really is a Christ and magpakita siya sa harap ko and dumating siya and it's too late for me to believe kasi yun nga sabi ng belief mo na if you didn't have faith for the longest time, you're condemning yourself to hell. I get it, but yeah, that's the only requirement now. Or someone would be able to like provide verifiable evidence that there really is a heaven, there really is God, there really is hell, and so on. So I hope na nang haba ng video puta. So just hit the like button if you like conversations like this. I would want to have someone in the channel to talk to kasi ako lang mag-isa. An atheist siguro pwede, or an agnostic, or a deist. I hope you're open to have a discussion. Let's not have a debate. That's very intimidating. I'm not good with debates. I'm bad at it. So let's just have a discussion. And yun. That's it. See you.